Tech Arena at the Stephen C. O'Connell Center here on the campus of the University of Florida for our live SEC Network coverage of women's collegiate gymnastics. Tonight, we feature the top matchup in the country as the number 5 Florida Gators welcome the number 1 Oklahoma Sooners. Hi everyone, I'm Mark Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. What a thrilling meet we have in store tonight. These two teams have won or shared the national championship the last 5 years running. So in college gymnastics, this is just about as good as it gets, Kathy.
It is so exciting. And when you look at Florida, they bring back all the great routines from the Super 6 finals from last year and add a boatload of great freshmen to that. So far in this season, they are playing around with the lineup still and holding back on some of their big skills, but we may see a couple of them tonight for the first time. And then Oklahoma, they graduated some super seniors, so they had to fill those spots, and they have the highest score in the nation so far.
In fact, Oklahoma has been above 197 twice this season so far. Take a look at the championships they've won most recently. And they had that amazing meet back in 2014 where they tied for the national champion, a first ever. So we'll go a little bit deeper into this blockbuster matchup for these two teams. We'll talk a little bit about what makes Maggie Nichols the finest collegiate gymnast, or maybe one of the finest of all time. She's already scored 7 career perfect 10s in her freshman year at Oklahoma. And then we'll talk to Florida's coach Jenny Rowland about this amazing freshman class who are expected to contribute 8 of 24 routines tonight. Let's listen to the PA announcer introduce the teams now.
Freshman from Bedford, Texas, Jordan Draper. Freshman from Ames, Iowa, Evie Schofer. A freshman from Morton Grove, Illinois, Anastasia Webb. A freshman from Overland Park, Kansas, Carly Woodard. Sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Jay Degovea. Sophomore from Little Canada, Minnesota, Maggie Nichols. A sophomore from Rockford, Michigan, Bree Showers. A junior from Odessa, Missouri, Brenna Dowell. A junior from Houston, Texas, Ashley Hiller. A junior from Austin, Texas, Nicole Lehrman. A junior from Cushing, Oklahoma, Alex Marks. A senior from Dallas, Texas, Natalie Brown. A senior from Phoenix, Arizona, Stephanie Couture. A senior from Grapevine, Texas, Samantha Kraus. And a senior from Belton, Missouri, AJ Jackson. The assistant coaches for the Sooners are Lou Ball and Tom Haley. And the head coach for the Oklahoma Sooners, KJ Kindler.
Congratulations to the Florida Gators, 2013 NCAA Women's National Gymnastics Champions. 2 teams sharing the floor as NCAA champions. Florida, 3-peat as NCAA team champion.
You heard the crowd erupt.
What a night for the Florida Gators.
Come the Gators! And now let's meet your Florida Gators. A freshman from Dallas, Texas, Alyssa Bauman. A freshman from Bayville, New Jersey, Jasmine Fober. A freshman from Marietta, Georgia, Megan Skaggs. A freshman from Morrisville, North Carolina, Nicole Webb. A sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Sierra Alexander. A sophomore from Waterdown, Ontario, Megan Chan. A sophomore from Urbandale, Iowa, Rachel Gowie. A sophomore from Hamilton, Ohio, three-time All-American, Amelia Hundley. A junior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, eight-time All-American, Alicia Boren. A junior from Orlando, Amanda Cheney. A senior from Dallas, Texas, 11-time All-American, Kennedy Baker. A senior from Allen, Texas, Grace McLaughlin. A senior from Midlothian, Virginia, 15-time All-American, 2017 Honda Award winner, and 2017 NCAA All-Around National Champion, Alex McMurtry. A senior from Holly Springs, North Carolina, two-time All-American, Rachel Slocum. And honorary team member from Lawrenceville, Georgia, Bailey Warner. The Gators are coached by Owen Field, Adrian Burdett, and the head coach of your University of Florida Gators, Jenny Rowland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and join in singing of our national anthem, signed this evening for the hearing impaired by members of the Signing Gators, and performed tonight by David Polino.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Our judges for the competition tonight are Pat Etheridge, Carol Curley, Denise Weaver, Lori Lattimore Volkman, and Evelyn Chandler.
Thanks for watching our pre-meet show on SEC Plus. Be sure to tune in to watch ESPN at 7 Eastern for our meet as Oklahoma takes on Florida. You don't want to miss this action. Friday Night Heights on Watch ESPN. We'll see you shortly. Welcome, everyone. We are expecting a packed house here tonight in Gainesville, Florida, with the top matchup in the country featuring the winners of the last 5 NCAA team titles. The 3-time NCAA champions, the Florida Gators, welcome the 3-time and reigning NCAA champs, the Oklahoma Sooners. I'm Bart Connor, along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. Now, Kathy, I know it's early in the season, but this is still a highly anticipated matchup.
Well, just take a look at these rankings so far, and the top 5 teams, they're all amazing. We've gotten a glimpse of all of them. They're off to a great start, so it's going to be a super season of gymnastics. And look at that, Oklahoma number 1, Florida number 5. They're come at it from 2 different places. Florida has been holding back on some of their big tricks. They may introduce some of them this competition. And Oklahoma, boy, they've put up some big numbers so far.
Both of their scores over 197.5. They had a 197.55 away their first meet of the season at Georgia, and then a 197.525 in their second meet. So the home team, Florida, will start on vault, as is the tradition. Jasmine, she likes to be called Jazzy Foberg, will lead them off. You see the rest of the lineup there.
And I thought we were going to see 5 10-0 start value vaults from Florida, but one of the ones they were planning to introduce in this competition, they decided not to put her in the lineup. Not quite ready to go for all their big vaults, but we will see 4 this evening.
Remind everyone of the collegiate gymnastics rules. 6 gymnasts per team compete in each event. The best 5 scores count towards their team total. After all 4 apparatus, the team in the highest cumulative score wins. And the home team event order is, as we said, vault, bars, beam, and floor. The away team starts on bars, then goes to vault, then floor, and then has to finish on the beam.
I saw so much energy from both teams in the warm-up, so much power in the vault. I expect to see big vaults from both of these teams. Florida gets their shot first right here with Jazzy, opening with a Yurchenko full. Look for height, look for distance from the table, and obviously the form. Nice block up off the table, and a much better landing than she had in warm-ups. Really found that shape in the air. And you'll see as she finishes the full, she opens up, really looks and has a long time to see the landing. Just a little hop slide back.
She's one of those fantastic freshmen we'll be talking about tonight. Jazzy Foberg from Bayville, New Jersey. Here's the OU lineup on bars. Oklahoma has been spectacular so far on bars this season. A.J. Jackson, the senior from Belton, Missouri, will get the leadoff spot. Now, this is not exactly one of her best events, and yet she's quite consistent here.
And it is short, sweet, and to the point. She has everything she needs. Very aggressive swing, so if she hits the big skills and gets this last handstand, she will put Oklahoma off to a great start. Showing off that handstand position. And a nice full out. Really nice job with that open routine. Good job on the landing.
Coach Kindler told us before the meet, she said, I really like to have seniors leading me off on these events, and that's why A.J. Jackson gets the call.
Now, I thought she might have rushed it just ever so slightly. She did a good job of trying to sell that handstand. And this is beautiful. Notice how she waits on that twist and then does the full at the very end. Nicely done.
Sooners off to a good start on the bars. Now, Sierra Alexander. The lineup was juggled around a little bit. We thought we might see Megan Skaggs, but Sierra gets the call, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale.
And this can be a huge Yurchenko full. Let's see if she can control the power. Wow, look at the distance. Couldn't quite rein in all that distance and continued to hop backwards after the landing, but the judges are going to love the amplitude, that's for sure. check this out. Let's see. A little high onto the table, but she still manages 5 feet up off the table. But this was spectacular. She's over 9 feet away from the table. She just out-vaulted our grid.
We need to extend our measuring tape. That is impressive for Sierra Alexander, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. Jasmine Folberg for her at a 9.875. Now we talk about some fantastic freshmen. The Sooners have a few of their own, and this young lady, Anastasia Webb, is a freshman from Morton Grove, Illinois. I'm quite proud of that because that's my hometown. She went to the same high school I did. And she's done all around in the first 2 meets.
Is so high on her. She's so mature, especially as a competitor coming in as a freshman. And she didn't walk in the door that way. She really has stepped it up.
Score for A.J. Jackson in that leadoff spot was an impressive 9.85.
I want you to watch her very pretty pack salto right down here. Very floaty, nice amplitude, and just perfect form. Something Oklahoma is so known for. The precise, technical aspects of the routine are there, and the form, the execution, beautifully done, and a great stuck landing on a double front. Not easy to do, as we know. This is just so lovely. Nice handstand position. Floats this, maintains that laid out position, just perfect distance from the low bar. And a beautiful double front. Slight leg separation as she swings through the bottom, but finds that landing perfectly.
Alicia Bourne now to go. The senior from Dallas, Texas, Sierra Alexander, had a 9.825.
Alicia Bourne has such a quick twist. It's unbelievable. And I tell you what, I think that vault was higher and a little more distance than we usually see from Alicia, so I love to see this. But watch this, even in slow motion, this twist is quick. Slight bend to the knees as she looks for the landing, but well done.
Alicia Bourne, of course, from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. We misidentified her, our bad. And you get to look back over at bars for the Sooners. Stephanie Couture, the senior from Phoenix, Arizona, set to go. Anastasia Webb, a 9.95 in the second spot. What an impressive score for a freshman.
Again, watch the form of these athletes from Oklahoma. Really maintain straight leg, pointed toes. They're working hard to try to swing up to those handstands out of the cast. I swear I think they used glue. They glue those ankles and toes together. So nice to see that form. Gorgeous double layout, and look at that. Pretty as a picture on the landing.
3 stuck landings in a row for Oklahoma. Remember last year at the NCAA Championships, in the Super 6 final, they stuck 6 bar landings, and they never looked back.
Yes, on the toe on, reverse heck, 2.5 feet above the bar, but that toe point is so gorgeous. And not easy to do when you're flying around the bars, and they do it in spectacular fashion.
Kennedy Baker, a senior out of Dallas, Texas, of course.
Performing another 1.5 twist. Again, a 10-0 start value vault. Oh, great form in the air. She just was thinking about that, landing a little too soon. Didn't quite get the big vault. You gotta go big first. She had a little angle in the shoulders when she made contact with the table, and that's really hard to block through the shoulders with that angle.
Back to the bars for the Sooners. Brenna Dow will be next up. Of course, she has enormous amount of international experience, competed on the U.S. World Teams before.
And you don't often talk about power on the uneven bars, but she actually swings with such power. Look at the great amplitude on her single bar release move. Beautiful straight arm work throughout. You never catch her muscling up a skill. Beautiful swing technique. Might have been a tiny bit short on that handstand, but she really knows how to finesse it and try to show it off. And a great double layout.
The score for Stephanie Couture before her was a 9.85. Dowell did her freshman year at OU and then went back to the International Elite Program to compete for the U.S. team and then came back to the Sooners. Now she's a junior. Rachel Slocum, transfer from Eastern Michigan. She has a huge ball, Kathy.
It's a front pike with a half twist, and it was finally back to normal last week in competition, so she could come up with a huge one here. Nice high flight. Oh, she stuck it in the warm-ups. Couldn't quite get the perfect landing here, but that was an excellent vault in the air. So nice to see a different traditional front entry vault, pike front, and opens out with a half twist. Not quite the landing she had in the warm-ups, but look at that. She finishes the skill, the element above the level of the table with her head still above that. I love it.
Good to see the smile on her face. Remember a couple of weeks ago we were here, she got her steps off and messed up her vault and ran by the vaulting table, and even the judges didn't know what to do with it.
All
Rachel
back to
Slocum
normal.
scores in. It's a 9-9, a whole lot better than the 8-7 or whatever it was 2 weeks ago.
They loved it in the air. They only took off the 10th of a point for the landing.
Nicole Lehrman, who is one of the co-national champions. 6 women won the national title last year at the NCAA championships, and Lehrman was one of them.
Now that was a cast of handstand. She is showing perfect handstand positions. Little leg separation from the kip to the cast, but that is being picky. The rest of it is really, really nice. Even form in the half twist, half in, half out dismount. I have to say how impressed I am with their ability to keep form. Notice how she really finesses that and gets it up on top of the bar. Toes pointed, legs together all the way throughout the skill, and just a little side step on the landing.
She came after, of course, the score before her. Brenda Dowell had a 9.85. Here is Alec McMurtry. Will she do the double twister tonight?
I have been told this was her plan. Yurchenko with 2 twists.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a beauty. I mean, I've run out of superlatives, honestly.
How does she do it?
Perfect technique. When you have the kind of technique dialed into your vault the way Alex McMurtry has, the roundup is perfect. The position onto the table, absolutely spotless. Double twist. Check this out, though. The height is incredible. 5 feet above the table. 2 twists. Now, if the judges can look at it slow motion, they might see her feet come apart, but that's hard to see in
And
fast
Maggie
motion.
Nichols now on the bars for the Sooner, coming after Nicole Lehrman's 9-9.
And talk about huge gymnastics. That beautiful toe on reverse heck in pike position.
And you hear the crowd going crazy because it's a 10 on the vault for Alex McMurtry while Nichols is still going.
And cool as a cucumber, Maggie is handling all the noise around her and coming up big for Oklahoma. There you go. She says, watch what I can do. That's fine. You go cheer your hearts out for the 10, but I'm going to nail my dismount.
She needs a 9.95 for OU to take the lead after the first rotation. It's sort of an anything you can do, I can do better. What a 1-2 punch there.
Did we say this was going to be amazing? It's amazing. And the difficulty, she's almost 3 feet up above the bar, and she stays in piked position, legs together throughout the release. And with the place going crazy, loud as can be, she concentrates and comes in like a dart.
And it's a 9.95 for Maggie Nichols. So Oklahoma, by 25 thousandths of a point, will lead after the first rotation. Let's take a look at this 10 one more time, Kathy.
Well, this is outstanding gymnastics. Exciting, everybody waits for it. 1, 2, bam, there it is.
And welcome back to Gainesville. A huge crowd on hand tonight. And we're in for a great one. Look at this. After the first rotation, these two teams are separated by just 25 thousandths of a point. Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark, and we had high expectations coming into this meet. But how about that first rotation? First of all, let's take a look at the 10 from Alex McMurtry.
This is why we love our job. This is unbelievable, and we really expected to see some great things, and they have not disappointed. Alex McMurtry on vault, a double twist, and it was absolutely amazing. Perfect technique from the round off all the way through to the pre-flight, up to the double twist. Opens out, spots the landing. It was amazing. Check this out. That is as beautiful as you could do this vault. Technically so precise. How exciting. First time out for the season.
And then the Oklahoma Sooners said, hey, wait a minute, we got a great all-around gymnast as well. What about Maggie Nichols on the bars?
While they're going absolutely nuts. The place is so loud. Some people wouldn't be able to concentrate, but not Maggie Nichols. Really came through, huge to cap off a really fantastic bar rotation, showing her always around Nancy. Very difficult gymnastics. There you go. And just nailing it. She says, watch what I can do. That's fine. You go cheer your hearts out.
So when we come back to Gainesville, we'll talk to the Florida coaches about their expectations for this competition. We have a great one on hand. Don't go away.
Our O-Dome with our Gator Nation behind us. It's going to be really fun because we're going to be at home and we'll have the home crowd, and I think we're going to use that to our advantage, and I think we're just going to go all out, and we're really prepared for it, so we think we're ready.
It's going to take a lot of grit. It's going to take passion, energy, a lot of fun, which I'm not worried about at all with this team. This team has it all.
I think that having them finish above us is going to be really, really important, and it's going to put our team to the test, but I think we're ready for it.
It's going to take a lot. I think it might be a reality check in season to know where we have to go. This is the first time we've faced OU so early, and I think it's going to be great to check our details, to check everything, because then we have a few more months until when it really counts.
Well, Kathy, you know, when we came into this competition, we looked at there's big differences between these two teams because Florida is returning every score from last year's national championship, and then they have 4 fantastic freshmen contributing already. The Sooners had to replace almost half the routines from last year's championship because some of their great seniors, like Chase Capps, Mackenzie Wofford, and Charity Jones, have graduated. So big expectations, but big question marks around the Sooners, whether they could replace those amazing athletes.
I think that was a question in everybody's mind, but they are certainly showing that certainly they miss those gymnasts, absolutely, and those routines and their leadership. But my gosh, the gymnastics that they're doing, the scores they're putting up, and just the form and execution that I'm seeing so far. One event. This is a great matchup.
All right, the Oklahoma Sooners had a little bit of a travel delay coming here. The flight from Oklahoma City to Atlanta was delayed because of mechanicals, so they missed their connection. So they quickly ordered a charter bus and drove 4.5 or 5 hours last night from Atlanta to Gainesville to get here late last night in time to prepare for the competition today. So, you know, sometimes a little adversity sometimes puts you in supreme focus, Kathy.
Yes, and you also know these athletes can make a party out of anything, so they just go with the flow, and it's just part of life.
Friday Night Heights continues next week on the SEC ESPN Network, as we'll have #1 Florida taking on Auburn at 7 p.m. Eastern, and after that it's Kentucky taking on LSU. Friday Night Heights is also streaming live on the ESPN app. Take a look at the lineup for the Oklahoma Sooners. Boy, let's think about that last rotation. Florida on vault has the best score in the NCAA this year, 49.475. OU on the bars was the 3rd best score in the NCAA this year, a 49.5. So we are off to a great start. The Sooners have stuck several landings, and Oklahoma will go to the vault now, and the Gators will be on the bars.
And like Florida, Oklahoma can really do some big vaults. I watch them in warm-ups, and I love the way they start their warm-ups. They raise a mat almost to the level of the table for them to do their timers. That really teaches them to explode up and off the table so that the vault is big in terms of amplitude.
Bree Showers, the sophomore.
Oh, no, that was a little bit lower than I expected. You could see her feet almost go right by the table. So she didn't quite get the block and the explosiveness off of the table. Very, very close. So that'll be a little bit of a deduction. Of course, the step back.
The Sooners had to make a lineup adjustment because Jade Degovea, who does a 10-0 vault, she tore her plantar fasciitis on Wednesday. So she's out of the lineup, so the Sooners adjusting a little bit. We go now to the bars, Alicia Boren.
And Alicia loves this leadoff spot. She's the type of gymnast that loves to warm up and go. Very consistent performer. Nice, clear hip to handstand from her transition to low bar. Really has improved on her form on this event. Concentrating on perfection, hitting those handstands, and of course the all-important landing, just a little shuffle of the feet. I think the judges are going to see that, little deduction there.
She gets high fives from Owen Field, who is the coach for Florida, responsible for the bars.
Nice shape in the air, just piped down just a little too much and had to adjust the feet on the landing.
Owen Field in his third season, of course, Jenny Rowland also in her third season here at Florida, and what a team she has this year. Back to the Sooners now. Junior Nicole Lehrman set to go. We saw her impeccable work on the bars in the last rotation.
Nicole's doing a full as well. That's a 995 start value. Good landing. That was the best part of the vault. Still haven't seen yet an explosive vault really off the table yet by Oklahoma, but clean nonetheless. Not quite getting that position for the block. You really got to be straight through the shoulders and hold those feet back so that they don't travel past vertical and you're unable to get the block.
Kennedy Baker second up for Florida. Score for Bourne was a 9.85.
This routine is highlighted by a big single bar release move right there. Little leg separation as she does her bail to handstand. Now she's going to do a half pirouette after this toe on handstand into the double front. Oh no, not quite the landing. She's trying to hang on to it and get the salute to the judge really fast, but they'll see that hop. Toe on reverse hack, 2 feet above the bar. Nice form on that. Little bit arms bent on the regress, but the rest of the routine was pretty darn good.
Scores for the Sooners on vault have been pretty impressive. 9.825 for Showers, 9.875 for Nicole Lehrman. But Brenna Dowell, she does a 10-0 vault, and we've seen her drill it.
On this 1.5, she has an uncanny knack for finding her way through the vault and the landing. Very clean form, explosive. Good push off the table. Not quite as big as a couple of the bigger vaults we've saw from Florida, but so clean in the air.
She drilled both vaults in the first 2 meets of the season this year. Took a little bit of a hop there. That was the first 10-0 vault of 4 that the Sooners have planned to go for today. Jazzy Foberg will be next up. Kennedy Baker's score is in 9.825.
And this is one of the most unique routines you'll see in this combination. Watch for it. She does a single bar release move, but between the bars and out of a short swing. Salto down to the low bar. Back up to high bar. Nice transition right there. Look at that. Ginger in between the bars. That is not easy to do. I hope the judges can appreciate that. And a half in, half out. Nicely done. I love to see the level of enthusiasm we're seeing from both teams. Now watch this. Half swing back and then just really cranks this Ginger release move. That's a half twist and a flip.
Anastasia Webb, the freshman who was impressive on the bars in the last rotation. She's coming after Brenna Dowell's 9.875.
Now this is a different vault. Check this out. Half on, front pike. really worked hard on getting that landing, no movement of the feet. So watch this, a little bit different. Round up onto the board, half twist here onto the table. Pretty good block up. A little wobbly in the air in that pike position, but boy, did she come up with the control on the landing.
Jasmine Foberg scores in a 9-9, a season high for her, and that brings up Amelia Hundley, the sophomore.
And this is such a nice routine to sandwich between Jazzy's and the gymnast that will follow, Rachel Gowie. Beautiful transition, very difficult release moves between the bars. So some of the gymnasts do single bar release moves. She does 3 transition release moves between the bars. Just a different kind of difficulty. She might have been a little bit short on that final handstand. The judges sit right to the side. They can see it clearly, but wow, I'll tell you what they didn't see, a hop or a step on that landing.
She had tweaked her ankle earlier this year, so they have often considered resting her, but that was a great set.
Check that. Nice back-to-back difficulty going back and forth between high bar and low bar, and then again right back up with a half twist this time. Well done.
For the Sooners, it'll be A.J. Jackson. She does a 1.5 twister, 10-0 start value vault. You see her average so far this year puts her tied for 5th in the NCAA after the first 2 meets.
We've seen A.J. really do some dynamic vaults in her career. Nice block off the table. Couldn't quite get the landing. She was in a little too much of an arch position and then brought her head forward very quickly. It's hard to hit that stretched position to find the landing.
Anastasia Webb before her had a 9-9.
Nice height, almost 5 feet off the table. Watch right here, she kind of arches the back and then brings the head forward. It's very hard to stick it perfectly.
Rachel Gowie last year was the SEC all-freshman team. With such nice technique here.
This routine has everything. Difficulty, single bar release, and a big release transition from high to low right here, toe on handstand, to a pack salto. Beautiful stretch lines in this routine. Very similar form to that we saw from Oklahoma. Legs together, toes pointed. Let's see if she can get the landing. Oh no, not quite. She didn't need to pike down. Oh, she had it. She could have maintained that stretch position and found the landing just a little bit easier.
Just 3 years ago that she was the Pan American Games uneven bars champion for the United States team.
We're watching closely to see if they swing up to handstand. You really don't just want to hit the sweet spot in that vertical position, but you want to swing it to the handstand. Perfectly laid out, and then she pikes in too much and over-rotates.
The Sooners have all high 9-8 scores and 1-9-9. It brings up Maggie Nichols, who has a 10-0 vault.
She has a way of coming up big when needed. Just like that. 1.5 twist. I would not usually set someone up like that, but you can do that with Maggie Nichols.
She already had a 9-9-5 in the bars in the first rotation.
Just look at the perfection. Now we're seeing it in slow motion. Very, very slight cross of the toes. Judges may be able to see that. Her legs are a little bit apart, but notice how she brings the heels together. That's a requirement now for a stuck landing in gymnastics.
Back over to the bars for Florida. 4 gymnasts have scored season highs, and that brings up Alex McMurtry, the anchor.
And this routine has the awe factor. Watch the height here on the release move. And she almost flares her arms out before she regrabs. That's a handstand right there. I think she likes that perfect score on vault. She's going for a big one here. A little bit of pike in her giants, but sets up the dismount. Oh, too bad. Tried a little bit too hard on the dismount. Hopped forward, but the rest of the routine was pretty spectacular. Check this height out. My goodness gracious. 2.5 feet above the bar, but then she opens the arms up and flares some before she catches. That's the impressive part. She missed her release point just ever so slightly. Normally she times it perfectly to drop it in for the landing.
You mentioned her 10-0 on vault. That means she ties Bridget Sloan for the most 10s in Florida history. And we're just halfway through this meet. A 9.975 for Maggie Nichols. So, as expected, we have an outstanding competition here. Looks like the Oklahoma Sooners have 99 even, and Florida is just 1/10 point behind as we move to the third rotation. Wow. We saw the recent headlines where former USA Gymnastics team doctor Larry Nassar was sentenced to 175 years for assaulting young athletes. OU's Maggie Nichols was one of the original whistleblowers on the U.S. national team. And hopefully with the courage that Maggie showed and that of 150 other young ladies, long overdue changes will take place in elite gymnastics as well as youth sports in general.
And Bart, it's not a moment. This is a movement, and it's a movement that started with one. Rachel Denhollander, one of the first to be an accuser and the very first to publicly put her name out there. And she did so others wouldn't have to. Well, it inspired others like Maggie, 150 plus strong, to become an army of survivors. And their stories, they took us back to their childhood and grabbed our hearts, our minds, and collective conscience, and will hopefully challenge those in power to not just feel something, but actually do something. Pass better laws, effective safety rules, policies, procedures, changes that go far enough. We love and support you, Maggie, and all of your sister survivors.
There is Maggie Nichols, and what a competition she's having today so far, Kathy. She has lit the world on fire for many reasons, including her leadership, but also her gymnastics. Let's talk a little bit about some of her accolades. Member of the World Championship team, she finished 6th at the Olympic trials, scored 7 perfect 10s as a freshman at Oklahoma, and she's one of 9 gymnasts who've scored perfect 10s on every apparatus in her career. Kathy, what makes her so special as a gymnast?
Well, number one, her consistency, her technical precision and comfort with her skills breeds this kind of consistency time and time again, and her style, her ability to show off her flexibility, full extension and expressive performance quality, and then the unique difficulty, like this skill, keeping it piked, legs together, is just out of the ordinary.
And when we come back to Gainesville, Oklahoma, with a 1/10 of a point lead, we'll move to the third rotation. Don't go away. What a thrill to see so many alumni come back here to celebrate this incredible team. These young ladies over the years have won 3 NCAA championships, 10 SEC titles, and they're being appropriately honored for their contributions to this legendary program. And what a good one we have, Kathy Johnson-Clark. These two teams separated by a 1/10 of a point as we head into the second half of the meet. The Florida Gators will go on the beam, and the Oklahoma Sooners will move to the floor. Take a look at the lineup for Florida on beam. Amelia Huntley will get the leadoff role.
And Florida has such great depth on beam. They really have an opportunity here to try different people in the lineup in different spots. It gives them an ability to rest an athlete or just build their depth.
You mentioned depth, and that's usually not a word we've associated recently with Florida. Typically, it's a very thin team, but this is the most depth that Jenny Rowland has had since she's been here, and the most depth I can remember in 10 years.
Absolutely. And I love that she gets this opportunity here to lead off, really builds confidence. It's a different kind of pressure. I like to see she looks very calm, very poised, deliberate as she works the balance beam, and then very aggressive on the landing. The key to good beam is always following through, finishing. Set up your strong mental cues. Don't clutter your brain with too much, and to be aggressive but calm. The smile after the full turn. She knows she's doing a great job so far, concentrating on the dismount. So round off, 1.5 twist, and an excellent landing. What a tremendous job in the leadoff spot. Good for her.
Great start for the Gators in the third rotation. The Sooners go to the floor. There's Bree Showers. Now, she's a sophomore, but this is the first year she's actually competed because last year they discovered a benign tumor in her arm. They lasered it out, and after she was already cleared to start training again, on a simple round-off in practice tumbling, she broke her arm. So she has a plate in her arm, missed the entire season last year, and she is a real inspiring young lady for this entire Sooner program, and she gets the leadoff role on the floor.
And what a great position to put her in, because this is such an honor to have that position to lead your team into that event. We always look forward to seeing KJ Kindler's choreography, her music selection, and try to find the little theme or story that she often weaves into the choreography. Nice form on the double pike. See the little things, the pointed toes, even on the tumbling. Woo! Just kept that in bounds. Good for her. Keep in mind the judges are looking for control on the landing. You must land with both feet controlled before stepping into the lunge or a dance element.
Coach Kindler thinks they might be able to work her into the all-around at some point in this season.
Beautiful technique on the round-up back handspring. And again, very elegant in the tumbling. Lovely to see that combination, power and elegance. Well done.
That was Bree Showers for Oklahoma.
We go back to the beam now for Florida. Amelia Hundley, 9.875 was her score. Megan Skaggs, the freshman from Marietta, Georgia, trying to find the judge to
the
salute.
head judge. You have to salute the head judge who raises the green flag. Beautiful straddle split mount. Showing off the flexibility right off the bat. This is a wolf turn. A couple Florida gymnasts are doing it and doing it with a double. Very well done. Look at the beautiful position in that pose as the foot goes up behind her head. I know that Jenny Rowland has been working really hard on these leaps and jumps, particularly that back leg, trying to keep the leg straight and toe pointed throughout the entire jump. Acrobatic series, back handspring out, step out, just perfect landing.
She showed a lot of grit last week. She stepped up after a fall before her in the lineup and hit a solid routine. She's just a freshman.
Love the precise position. Love that choreography right there. All the gymnasts have to turn to the side and face out and do some type of choreography sideways to the beam. And some are more unique than others, and that was lovely. Excellent routine. What a performance by this young lady.
2 solid routines for the Gators on beam.
The wolf turn, and don't ask me why they call it a wolf turn. Keeps her leg up above the level of the beam. Not the easiest skill to make look pretty. She does a pretty good job of that and an excellent job of gluing those feet to the mat.
She's coming, of course, after Hundley's 9.875. Expect a big score for Skaggs as well. This is Brenna Dow, and this is one of the most explosive first tumbling runs in the country.
And what's amazing, Bart, is she does it with such ease, or at least it looks easy.
It's a handspring double front.
You've got to have muscles in your teeth to do this. Oh my gosh, and eyeballs on your toes. That's unbelievable. She can just control that landing so well. And what's nice is she's become so much more animated in the dance than she ever was in elite or as she started her collegiate career. Love the way she dances out of that tumbling pass, goes into the jump.
Coach Kindler really prides herself on mixing it up. So a variety of choreography, a variety of music.
So far, a terrific routine going front layout, front full, good control on the landing, and a smile. Nice dramatic finish.
The sophomore from Odessa, Missouri, did her club training at Gage Gymnastics. Go back to the beam for Florida. How about this? Megan Skaggs had a 9.9, a season high for her after Amelia Hundley's 9.875 season high. So the Gators off to a terrific start on this event.
Love those presenting arms as she approaches the balance beam. Really increases the quality of the performance. Front toss. I can see the determined look on her face, and yet notice her when she breathes out, bringing the calm. Back handspring layout, step out. She is so determined, striving for perfection. And what I love the most, she has worked so hard on getting her shoulders down and her neck longer. That has not been an easy correction for her, and she has worked really hard on it. Elevates the routine performance.
Keep in mind, these two teams are separated by just a tenth of a point coming into this rotation.
That's what you're seeing here. Every, not just tenth of a point, I'm talking half a tenth of a point matters. So they are really concentrating on absolute perfection. Oh, too bad. Thought she had that landing, had to cross over. I like that she's increased the difficulty, though. Adding the cartwheel before the full, it went too far out to the side, so she couldn't make the correction in the air to stick.
She gets a smile and a hug from head coach Jenny Rowland. Brenna Dowell's score, by the way, for the Sooners on floor, 9.925. Anastasia Webb is having an outstanding meet for the Sooners as well, the freshman from the Chicago suburban area.
And when we talked to KJ about the choreography and the performance of this routine, she described it as slinkety. And now I can see why. It's a perfect word. Front double full. This is how you perform to the max, everything.
I think so far we've coined two new phrases this year, sassitude and now slinkety.
Back 1.5 to front full, good difficulty in the middle pass. Gotta watch that front foot at the top of the jump because the jump is so beautiful, just loses the toe point ever so slightly. Finishes with a Rudy, a 1.5 twist. And as if the music is oozing from her body, that was so well performed, so perfectly done with the music.
And what a meet she's having. She had a 9.9 on vault and a 9.95 on bars.
A back 1.5 twist to a front with a full, a little bit more difficulty than we see, having both of those flipping elements with twists as well.
Rachel Gowie set to go after Alicia Boren's score in a 9.85 for her. Currently number 2 in the country, Kathy, on beam.
This routine has such a pretty, effortless quality to it. and she has so much more confidence this year. You can tell she worked so hard in the offseason. Look at the gorgeous position in the air on her leaps and jumps. And this is great difficulty. 3 skills, back handspring to 2 layout step outs. Just, wow, you could see her make the little correction in the air, not gonna give it up. You could just see it in the determined look on her face. Very nice combination from the aerial walkover into the Sisson. Sets up the dismount, gain of full, and a perfect landing. Very well done. Hard-earned confidence, and I love seeing when hard work pays off. Oh, I love to see this watch. The second position, split jump, judges want to see that. 180, and she shows it off and more. Look what I love, though, is the arms, how open her chest are, the arms all the way back. Gorgeous position. And caps it off with a perfect landing.
9.925 with the score for Anastasia Webb, which brings up another freshman, Evie Schofer from Ames, Iowa.
This is a powerful athlete working on refining all of her gymnastics. She'll need a little bit more control on that landing. It was a little bit bouncy. Well, if this smile can fuel the next tumbling pass, it's going to be a good one. She is lighting it up. Oh, no, almost missed it. She did save that. Missed the timing and the position for that punch between the 2 somersaults.
The Sooners have had to make some lineup adjustments. Natalie Brown, who's normally elegant on floor, had a knee surgery not long ago, and they expect her later on in the season. And then Jade Degovea got hurt this week, and so 2 of their regulars on floor are not in the lineup tonight.
Going to get little deductions for those leaps, little awkward in between. There's her best landing. Right at the end, controls that double pike. Good finish.
For the Oklahoma Sooners, that was Evie Schofer.
She just was out of position out of the first element here, the back 1.5 twist, and you could see she almost punched when the floor wasn't there and just couldn't get the full bounce of the floor. But look at this. This was the best pass of all 3. Good control there.
We've talked about the fantastic freshman from Florida. How about this, Alicia Bauman?
Alyssa is just gorgeous on this event. So many people have just waited for her to begin her collegiate career, and this routine is to die for. Watch this series. A nodi right into the back handspring. She is capable of so many different skills. She can do a layout out of that back handspring. I love the finishing touches and the rhythm, the pace of this routine.
She's following the 9.925 of Rachel Gowie.
Gorgeous combination and dances out of the Sisson. It's the sign of just a really natural beamer, someone who can just move effortlessly, flow the entire routine. 1.5 twist, very strong landing, good for her.
5 superb routines for Florida on the beam.
Now, the judges may be really picky here because you really have to connect these with no stop. She does a really good job of keeping her arms moving, even though her center was slightly off. Gorgeous front aerial to the Sisson and dance right out. Lovely. And she would like to do a double twist, but This is such a consistent 1.5 twist for the landing. They're keeping it there for now.
To the floor now. Here is Maggie Nichols for the Sooners.
Opens with a very effortless double tuck.
Scores in for Alyssa Bauman. 9.975 for the Gators on beam, and they have one more to go, and that's Alex McMurtry.
A sign of just what makes her special. That pass right there, front full to a front layout, step out, just a little different. Watch the eye contact, the expressive dance.
You notice that slightly easier tumbling run in the first pass. She's been dealing with some knee problems. She had surgery in the offseason where they did microfractures to help the joint heal. So they're just pacing her at this point.
You're right, she has more difficult passes that she can put in later on, but they're being conservative as they should. But she'll open with a pike double back, showing more difficulty. Beautiful position. Gorgeous.
That was the Oklahoma Sooners.
Maggie Nichols.
This second pass, I just love it. To add after this front full, front layout, and then step out, it's so elegant and flows right into the routine. It's just seamless. And pike double back, her trademark, she lands with one foot slightly in front of the other, but shows such control and makes it elegant.
Alex McMurtry now coming after Bauman's 9.975. What a beam rotation we've seen from Florida.
And I love that mount as she steps right up to the beam and then holds that position in releve. It's a watch me pose. Back handspring layout, step out here. I was afraid she might have rushed a little bit going into it, but like the veteran she is, managed it beautifully. The crowd favorite, as always. I think that's one skill I might want to practice all the time. It looks like it hurts, but...
3 of the 5 beam performances so far from Florida have been season-high scores. Nailing it here.
Alex has become such a consistent anchor for this team. Uncanny air sense. When it comes to double twist, she can do that in her sleep and find the landing. What a rotation. I mean, those were the best beam routines they have pulled off so far. And just like her vault, perfect technique, opens up, looks for the landing, and gets it.
And the crowd is going crazy. It's a 10 for Alex McMurtry. Oh my goodness. Her second one of the night. And her 9th one of her career, which means she is the Florida Gator with the most perfect 10s in Florida history. She just surpassed Bridget Sloan. Wow, what a competition. And we go back over to the floor, and it's sort of a, oh, by the way, Maggie Nichols got a 9.975, ho-hum. And AJ Jackson will be their final performer in this incredible third rotation here in Gainesville.
And with such big scores in the air, the electricity that's created in this arena has set AJ up perfectly. She has a very dynamic routine.
She needs a 9.875 for OU to take the lead in this rotation.
Huge tumbling, big air,
out of bounds.
Oh no, 1/10 of a point for stepping across the line, and they'll probably take a little bit because it's a large step. Love that middle pass. Shows the perfect presence and demeanor for the music, for the choreography. So good with the music.
Such a contrast to the classic routine from Maggie Nichols, then this intense routine from AJ Jackson.
Oh no. Chest was a little bit down, a little bit awkward on the landing. Hopefully it didn't hurt her ankles. Just not quite perfect on the landing, but what a great performance. And this is just something that has to be deducted. It's a huge pass. I love it. It should get bonus because of the difficulty and the height, but they got to take off the 1/10 of a point for the step out and a little for the big step.
What a great meet. Alex McMurtry, her second perfect 10 of the night for the Florida Gators. And we're coming down to the 4th and final rotation. This is exciting. You know, Kathy Johnson-Clark, sometimes meets just don't live up to their billing, but we've got anything but that tonight. Look at that. The score is tied going into the 4th and final rotation, and we anticipated a great meet, but it's even exceeded our wildest imagination.
I just love the way they've pushed each other. It's the true head-to-head competition, back and forth, one-upping each other, being a little more perfect than the one before them, trying to stick landings. It's so exciting and so great for gymnastics.
It's a great contest, and of course the stars has really stepped up tonight. Maggie Nichols with 2 9.975s of her own.
You cannot be any more close to perfect than that. And so elegant throughout the entire competition, but really fought hard here to show off the perfect landing, giving no 1/10 of a point away.
And then in the battle of anything you can do, I can do better, Alex McMurtry with 2 perfect 10s.
She's at home and so at home with this vault. That double twist is incredible, but this was the best beam routine I've seen her do, including another perfectly stuck landing.
What a thrilling night of gymnastics here in Gainesville. The 4th and final rotation, the Oklahoma Sooners go to the beam, and Florida will be on the floor. You're not going to want to miss the rest of this one, folks.
You know I'm back, like I never left. Another sprint, another step.
I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I was born for this, born for this. It's who I am, how could I forget? I feel glorious, glorious.
What a thrilling night here in Gainesville. Their second straight sellout crowd. 9,652 in attendance to watch really one of the most exciting meets I've seen in a long time, Kathy. Let's look at the scores, because for Oklahoma on vault, that's the highest score in the country, that 49.5. Their floor score, 49.575, is the same. Their bar score on bars is the 3rd highest. Now for Florida, they have the highest score in the country on beam this year. Look at that, ridiculous, 49.675, and that ties them exactly as we get set for this final rotation. I don't think it could get better.
No, we couldn't have written a better script if we had sat down and tried. I love the energy I'm seeing in the arena. I love the conversations I'm seeing between the gymnasts. They are so pumped up. This is an important meet for both of these two great teams.
So the Sooners go to the beam, and that is the lineup that the visiting team always get. They finish on beam when they're away. Florida will be on the floor. So Stephanie Couture, and we mentioned earlier, she's a senior, and Coach Kindler really likes to have seniors lead off because of their experience.
And Bart, normally finishing on beam would be just so much pressure on most teams. This is such an excellent beam team. from the types of athletes that they recruit, but also just the way they prepare. Beautiful poise.
We talked about how the Sooners had to reload. Their graduated Chase Caps, Charity Jones, and of course Natalie Brown is injured on the sidelines here, so they're missing at least half of their traditional lineup on beam. And yet KJ Kindler has a knack for getting them to hit.
So far, Stephanie is continuing with what she started, had a perfect season in this position last year. Super calm, very confident, and attacks the landing. Very well done. What a great leadoff routine. Now it's interesting, this is a gainer full, more difficulty adding that full twist. Her feet are a little bit apart and a little staggered on the landing, but she so perfectly brings the heels together. We'll see what the judges do with it.
That looks fun. I'd like to try one of those off the end of a beam, wouldn't you?
Go ahead, you can do that.
Okay, one down for the Sooners on the beam, and let's go to the lineup for Florida. On the floor, Rachel Slocum rarely disappoints, and she is the senior in the leadoff spot.
And she has been training a double layout, but they have decided to go back to her old pass, which is not too shabby. Whip back, through to a pike double back. They're going to deduct a little for a large step back. This is an absolutely perfectly choreographed routine for this personality. She is loaded with fun and personality.
The score's in for Stephanie Couture for Oklahoma on the beam, a 9.925 in the leadoff spot.
Florida was sure lucky to get this transfer when they did. She's brought so much enthusiasm and joy to this team, and some great gymnastics as well. When you can get the judge to smile at you, you're doing a good job.
Aren't they supposed to be impartial?
How do you not smile when someone's dancing like that? Front 1.5 twist to finish with a great landing and a great finish. Good for her.
Rachel Slocum lights up this crowd of 9,600.
Now watch this pass. It's a whip back from a very short run. Whip back right there. Two back handsprings to get the momentum for a very high pike double back. This one large step. She still controlled the lunge, but I think they'll take a little deduction for the long step.
Bree Showers up for the Sooners on beam. Remember, Stephanie Couture had a 9.925 to lead them off.
Nifty little mount. Full turn to the sit. Bree is a very graceful performer on balance beam.
This is a young lady who basically hasn't competed for 4 years because of injuries. Another setback.
You can tell this is a team that really pays close attention to the basics. Nice and solid on her acro series. You look at the strength in their feet. They still, every week, they do their complex, beam complex. That's the basic drills that really, oh no. Oh, that's too bad. Lost her balance there.
She missed an important element there. Normally
Yes.
she does a back handspring swing down after that combination.
Good job fighting for the landing. Needed to bring those heels together after sticking the landing. Too bad, a couple little breaks in there and a missed opportunity with that connection. Right here on the full turn, her feet almost missed the balance beam. She had to scoot backwards and normally would have connected a skill to that.
And the score in for Rachel Slocum, a leadoff, season high, a 9-9. So Megan Skaggs now, the freshman from Marietta, gets the call.
Megan does such a great job of performing this routine to its fullest. And she has the tumbling 1.5 twist to a tuck double back, perfect landing. That's the control they want to see on the 2 feet before stepping into the lunge.
Bree Shower score just in, a 9-9 for Oklahoma on the beam.
Front lay out, another good landing. See how stretched, see how great her posture is throughout the routine. Packed into this choreography, and not all of it is easy, I can assure you. Even in the dance, pike double back, beautiful control. Her chest was a little bit low. They might take a tiny deduction there. And finishes with the gator chomp. That's going to go over huge here. What a fantastic job by the freshman. Great difficulty, a lot going on in this pass. 1.5 to a tuck double back. Now this is the only place where the judges might have picked up their pen. Her chest was down just a little low, and she stepped forward.
Back to the beam now for the Sooners. Carly Woodard, freshman from Overland Park, Kansas. The score, by the way, for Bree Showers was a 9-9. I got to say, I didn't expect a 9-9 after that little bobble.
Well, but she had enough difficulty in other areas of the routine. Very soft landing, and then front tossed into the back handspring. Beautiful chest up on that needle scale.
Megan Skaggs' score on floor is a 9-9. They're trading 9-9s back and forth.
This is probably the best quality and level of difficulty in terms of gymnastic that these judges have seen. It's almost impossible not have those scores just fly up because they're seeing such outstanding skills and performances.
Good point.
Aerial cartwheel to the full. Nice job. And she tried to get those heels all the way together as she brought the feet together to show off that stick.
3 hits for the Sooners on beam.
Watch this beautiful position in the air. Right there, the leg goes up and beyond. She might need to get the back leg up. It's funny, sometimes coaches have to say, your front leg is so high, you got to get it down a little so you can get the back leg up. Look at them fight for every single half-tenth of a point.
Remember, this was tied coming into this rotation, and they're separated by 25 thousandths of a point right now, with Oklahoma having the slight lead. Jazzy Foberg.
Now she has 2 choices for this first pass. She can do a full in like that. She also has a double layout. Wouldn't that be nice?
Score just came in for Carly Woodard for Oklahoma on beam 995.
Oh no! Wow.
Good save.
That's an amazing save. They will take a little deduction there. It's interesting for these freshmen. Lost her form just a little bit on that first leap to learn how to manage the energy for a meet like this, especially those that are in multiple events and all the energy connecting with the crowd in between events. That's something that's new for the freshmen.
She trained at MG Elite Gymnastics in New Jersey along with Olympic gold medalist Lori Hernandez for her club training.
Strong finish, chest was a little bit down, and the step was forward. Again, that could be a tiny deduction. And I'm saying tiny deduction because that's the kind of deductions these judges are taking. I think they're impressed. Now, unfortunately, she was not high enough on that first element and then mistimed the punch going into the second.
Nicole Ehrman now, the junior from Austin, Texas.
Don't you just love to see the different types of skills that they're all doing in this routine? I love the variety within the team.
We've come to expect this kind of clean polish from the Oklahoma Sooners, especially on the beam, haven't we, Kathy?
And I love it. Here's her front aerial. Watch her spot. You could see her look and get her spot out. Cat leap into a switch side. Very nice position in that side jump. Goes right into her acrobatic series. The back handspring layout step out. You can just see the confidence build as the routine goes. This is the sign of somebody who's handled this kind of pressure before. My eyes just immediately go to the toes. They are so beautifully pointed throughout. Oh, I love the way she goes from just that dance element down on the beam on the knee, and surprise, there's my dismount.
And a big hug from KJ Kindler. 4 hit routines for the Sooners on beam.
KJ has to be thrilled with her ladies. Love that position sideways. One toe point was slightly off, but I love that. Right off the knee. And a surprise dismount. Oh, bring those heels together.
4 hit sets for the Sooners. Jasmine Foberg scores in a 9.825. It brings up Alicia Boren. Sooners keeping it up. Lehrman scores in now a 9.9 for the beam.
And she's dialed in the power necessary for this double out. Oh, just short on the landing. Alicia's been just a little bit off this evening. I mean, huge gymnastics, but not quite getting the landings. Not bad pass, though. High energy routine. Let's see if she can pull off the dismount. High double back. Got that landing. Was not going to land with the chest down there. Good finish. The crowd knows the routine. They've got that ending pose down pat.
I'm not sure I've ever seen 9,652 people do the Gator Chomp all at the same time.
Oh, she was just a little bit short. Might have rushed a little bit or just not quite had the energy going into it. Got hung up and then had to step forward. Nice to see her come back, though, so strong. With a beautiful tuck double bat. That put a smile on her face.
Back to the beam now for the Sooners, part of this dynamic duo of all-arounders. Anastasia Webb, what a meet she's had. The freshman, a 9.9 on vault, a 9.95 on bars, and a 9.925 on floor. Look at the scores for the Sooners, escalating on beam.
And we thought Florida knocked it out of the arena.
Alicia Bourne scores in now, 9.875 for Florida. Means Oklahoma has a 1/10 of a point lead at this point in the rotation. Each team with 2 performances left.
This is definitely a team showing why they are national champions. It takes not just the skills, but every aspect of gymnastics, the performance, the execution, the consistency, and just the grittiness to come up with the best routines when you need them most. Absolutely fantastic. A little hop on the dismount. That's being picky.
But what a performance for the freshman all-arounder in a pressure-packed meet here in Gainesville. Anastasia Webb, who, by the way, can also speak fluent Greek. She's of Greek heritage.
Show off. Good for her.
Which is basically an impossible language. So she's not only a great athlete, but who knows Greek? Kennedy Baker now for Florida.
And I think we could be in for a treat. Each routine she's done so far this evening hasn't been quite to her liking, and I just think she may turn it up here.
Tied for 6th in the NCAA on floor.
Watch this pass. It's an Arabian double front in pike position and is close to laid out. Sometimes she even kicks it out, opens, bam, just like that.
Score just in for Anastasia Webb on beam for Oklahoma, 9.85.
Kicks out of a double back, perfect landing. One landing from an excellent routine and a potential very big score. Back 1.5, front half to a split jump. Crowd loves it. Let's see what the judges do.
They're on their feet here at the Stephen C. O'Connell Center. They've already seen 2 perfect 10s tonight. This crowd wants to see another one.
I love this pass. This is so difficult, and she does it with such style and just a little extra. Look at that. I mean, that's almost laid out. And she fought really hard to not move that foot. I think the judges could take a tiny deduction there. Depends on where they're sitting, the angle, but nothing there.
What a performance from the 11-time All-American Kennedy Baker, the senior from Texas. Oklahoma has 5 hit routines, and now it's all up to Maggie Nichols, the sophomore.
And this is a situation for a gymnast who not just can handle pressure, but loves pressure, embraces it, uses it.
Notice the team score, 198-1 for the Sooners already. Even without Maggie Nichols' performance, that's the highest score in the nation so far this year. Kennedy Baker scored just in now a 9.975. The crowd wanted to see a 10.
She was being very deliberate on every single thing. This is going to require such perfection from Maggie. Beautiful landing on her pass. That first dance pass after she got on the beam, it almost looked like she was leaning, but she finessed it so well.
Oklahoma with a 25 thousandths of a point lead at this point. Nichols could clinch it with a 10, otherwise Florida still has a shot.
Gorgeous height on the leaps. Just really worked hard to try to keep that toe fully pointed at the top of those leaps and jumps. Definitely see the nerves, but boy, is she handling a very pressured situation. A 1.5 she knows it. It was just a little adjustment, that's all. It was such a close stick. She wanted it, but look at this. Let is just, that is awesome. And the only thing is that little bit of toe point at the very top of the jump loses it ever so slightly, but this has the awe factor and almost got it done right here. Her hips were just a little too far back, and she had to adjust the landing.
Okay, it's all going to come down to this. The freshman from Florida, Alyssa Bauman.
And Alyssa is going to throw a double layout. She's wanted to do it every meet. They finally let her go. She warmed it up beautifully. Oh no, they changed. They're playing it safe. They want to win. She will do similar passes to Maggie Nichols. She opened with a tuck double bat. Back 1.5 to front full. Oh, look how she dances out of the pass, shows the control.
Okay, while we're enjoying this routine, the score just came in for Maggie Nichols, 9.875. So if Bauman gets a 9.925 or better, she could win it for Florida. Wow.
Which is why the decision to not debut a double layout, but do what she's been competing so far this season. And even the music is building for the drama of the final pass. It's a tight double bat. Oh! She had it. She just got ahead of herself a little bit and tried to stand up too quickly. It's almost similar to Maggie's beam landing. Chest was forward. Woo! I don't know. I think if she had nailed that final pass, it could have been enough. We'll have to see. A little bit of a bounce on that double tuck. That's a little tiny deduction. And remember, they take 1.5 tenths of a point, but they add up. And this just might not quite be enough when you step forward like that.
We're waiting for the score. It's a 9.925. Oh my goodness. So with a 198.15, Florida will win this over the reigning NCAA champs, the Sooners, who had a 198.125. Unbelievable. We just witnessed the top 2 scores in the NCAA this year, and I got to admit the scores escalated and got a little bit high.
They did.
But we saw some amazing gymnastics.
Amazing gymnastics, and I want to put the scores aside for right now because we have to focus on these 2 great teams coming up with when it is this close, they really have to go back and check all the scores.
And there's an inquiry from Oklahoma on the beam. The judges are reviewing, so maybe this one isn't over yet. Wow, what a night of gymnastics. Kathy, we were hoping we'd see superb gymnastics, and that we did.
We have.
We will come back with the final results when we come back to Gainesville. What a night. And we're back in Gainesville. What a thrilling night of gymnastics. Now, there still is an inquiry on the balance beam scores for Oklahoma. So I guess it comes as no shock to gymnastics enthusiasts. There is a controversy involving judges.
Yes, I would like to focus on the great gymnastics because it was incredible, and hats off to all of the performers here. It was outstanding.
Well, as you can tell by the over 9,600 in attendance, the home team by 25 thousandths of a point gets the victory. Jenny Rowland in her 3rd season at Florida. We're looking at 2 teams that will likely contend for the national championship at the end of the season. And this early season matchup did not disappoint, Kathy.
Oh, not at all. Both teams over 198. And they both deserve the huge scores. There will be debates about all of the individual scores.
Yes, there will.
Oh, yes, there will.
I'm already have a few question marks in my mind, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. But do not take anything away from the performances, the efforts of these great gymnasts. What a performance they both put on tonight. Thrilling.
What a night here in Gainesville. The top 2 scores in the NCAA this season by far. Tonight, Florida with a 198-15 over Oklahoma by 25 thousandths of a point. What a thrilling night of gymnastics here for Kathy Johnson-Clark and our entire crew. I'm Bart Connor. We're glad you've tuned in to one of the great gymnastics matchups of the season. So long, everybody, from Gainesville, Florida.